waiting for the sound to happen.
Right as soon as we start, of course.
Okay, I'm ready. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Girlish. My name is Gage, and I'm here with my co-host Olivia.
Hey everyone, happy 4th of July.
Yeah, we just wanted to give you all just a wonderful, happy 4th of July for this beautiful country that we live in. If you're
We
watching the
salute.
video, yeah, we salute. I look naked, but I'm actually wearing blue to support the great country of America. So I hope you're all out there celebrating our independence, freedom, and right to live.
Nudity is truly just one of those freedoms that we have in America, as well as
Yeah.
abortions, as well as gay rights, trans rights,
Mm-hmm.
all these freedoms, especially coming from last week, so many. So we
Yeah.
salute the amazing America. And yeah, there's some fun stuff that I want to talk to you about like I figured some stuff out because my dad was born in Mexico. So there's some like fun things that I want to talk about. But before we get to that, we both like have some really cool things to talk
Oh my
about
God.
that like
Yeah.
really awesome stuff that happened. So do you want to like introduce it?
Yeah. So I feel like we've kind of mentioned it multiple times already. We're like, oh, should we tell them about this thing? Or like, should we talk about it? But we didn't. I don't think we would have got in trouble if we did because they didn't tell us anything. But basically, at this point, I feel like most people would have seen already that we were chosen to be part of Radar Podcasts by Spotify, which is, I feel like everyone's kind of familiar with like the release radar and radar for artists. So basically, Spotify picks like new and upcoming artists to feature on their homepages, and they just started doing it for podcasts. And okay, Jordan is struggling in the background trying to get on her
Your
cat
cat in the
tower.
background, like her
It's
arch
just like
her back.
squeaking.
Will you stand?
Anyways, so yeah, they were gracious enough to choose Girlish as like the inaugural group of podcasts. They picked us and two other podcasts to be part of the first class of Radar podcasters. So last week was the launch, and they started posting us like on Spotify's Twitter and on their different Instagram posts and everything. So it's been a crazy week for us just to kind of take in the fact that our faces are literally on Spotify podcasts, like verified Instagram page. Like our face and our branding and our podcast logo, it's all over the place.
It's unbelievable to me the fact that I haven't slept probably in like a week and I'm so exhausted, but it's because of this adrenaline high that we've like both had all week of just being able to like see like our logo, our faces just like on like the biggest streaming platform ever. And it's kind of crazy to think about how far we've come where like I had to like whenever I first came out, I had to move like hundreds of miles away from my family to actually have the ability to be able to be myself free of judgment. And like flash forward 6 years later, like I'm being featured as like a creator on this like site that was like super accepting and stuff that I didn't have growing up. And I hope that, you know, we sort of kind of create this representation that like we didn't have. And it's cool that we are the creators that we used to look up to, that like we are setting like some groundwork. And I don't know, I'm really grateful for Spotify for like just being able to like highlight our voices. And I think that's so cool. We've been working with Anchor and Spotify a bunch lately. And I'm genuinely just like I'm like it feels like I'm in a dream, really.
It is really crazy. And just like looking back at how far we've come, I think so. The funny thing is they put together this playlist of like episodes that you can refer yourself to and watch us if you want to get a feel of how we are. And the first time that they sent us the playlist, it was like all of our old ass videos. Like the first video or the first episode that we ever recorded with our shitty quality. We didn't even know what we were talking about. We had no structure. So it was like, it's just funny to think that they obviously believe in us, to think that a quality of that type of podcast is like still okay to promote because we've come so far and like we do this all remotely. We do it like we're not in the same area, so we can't go to a studio or anything like that. So there's so many like different circumstances that I feel like we've overcome, and we're still here and they still believe in us.
Yeah, they posted like on the playlist. It was like our first ever episode, and then like our third episode, and they were just very, very like, yeah, the quality was not there. One of the episodes, I started off saying like, "Hey everyone, it's me, your favorite tranny," which isn't something I like. It's something. Maybe it is something I would say
It's still
today.
on brand for us.
Honestly, maybe it is a little on brand, but to me, I like hear myself, and I'm like, wow, like like your transition, like when you transition, like I was such a baby, and like I really see that. I mean, granted, I was probably like 22 when that aired. Now I'm 25, I'll be 26 really soon. But like just that like short amount of time, how much I've evolved in my transition and in me as a person, as an adult. So hearing those back, it's like completely different. So I had to, and I also was going by Jay at the time, so I had to like email them and being like, "Hey, is there a way that we can like make these more modern?" I just like I feel weird about using like my old name, and also like I just feel like we have like a better representation of our the way that we format our episodes are more recent. And they were so sweet. They're like, "Yeah, definitely." And then they changed it within like the next hour. So I was like, that is crazy that like we were able to just like change something in Spotify just like by asking, and just by their like goodness in their hearts of just being able to do that for us. But yeah, I think about those old episodes and I'm like, I will never listen to them. I cannot listen to them. We could be like canceled or something for something we said in them, and I would never know because I refuse to like hear myself talk.
If I'm being honest, I listen to our episodes once when they come out, and then I don't listen to them again. Like something about seeing or listening to my past self makes me want to jump out the window.
Like, well,
So
on it.
no, I will not be going back that far.
And it's really, I edit these episodes, and I shouldn't say this because, but I literally don't listen back to this episode. Like I'm like, okay, intro, outro, export. Like I have too much to do.
Well, we don't
But
mess up, so
well,
like we
exactly.
don't have
We're.
to.
I mean, if we say something problematic, I'll leave a little note, and I'll be like, okay, around this time, I
Sorry.
can cut out us saying something awful. No, we barely have any like mess ups, but yeah, we typically run through these really well, and so. But yeah, after it's posted, I like out of sight, out of mind. I don't even remember what we talked about. So a lot of times we'll probably repeat a lot of the old things we've already said in the past, but it's because I just like it's over my head. But yeah, besides that tangent, radar, being on radar is such a cool opportunity, and I think we're both so like privileged and lucky to be able to be, you know, one of the first creators to be featured. And it's crazy, like you can go on like the Spotify homepage and you click new podcast, scroll down, and like we're right there. We're like it's like radar podcast USA, like we are the first of the three creators. Or yeah, we're one of the three creators of this round. So I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, and I feel like it's going to bring a lot of opportunities for us. There's a lot of things that we could potentially do with Spotify and Anchor to kind of just work with them further. I think this is going to last until like September. So for the next couple months, you know, we might be doing some fun and interesting things. And it's just really cool to be able to share our message and our show to a wider audience. I feel like most of the people that listen to us have probably just been following us for a while on YouTube or on Instagram or whatever. But it's just an opportunity for us to kind of have our show be heard by other people, which is cool. And it's still crazy to me that they even like believe in us enough to have us be a part of this because we're a very, very small podcast and it's a very like niche topic. So I don't know, just like the fact that they believe in two trannies during, I mean, they did pick us during Pride Month, so
Exactly. It did launch a day
yay.
before Pride Month
Yeah,
ended, so they did one right thing.
they did. Thank you, Spotify, for being an ally.
Exactly. We stand with you. But you know, I was excited about this launch. That the fact that like the first thing that I thought after it went live was like, I'm posting this on Facebook, of course, and
Oh,
like
bitch, and the LinkedIn.
and the
It's going on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. And so I don't ever go on Facebook. Like I'm like I every day I'm like I should delete Facebook. It's like today's the day I'm going to delete Facebook. But like it just I just have it and I never post anything. I never go on it. But like for some reason I was like, I have to make sure everyone that I went to high school with know that I'm a Spotify feature creator. Thank you very much. I will also be posting on LinkedIn so my whole company can see how badass I am. And yeah, it's really awesome.
Yeah, everybody needs to know.
So
I'm
thank
gonna
you
say,
Spotify for the
listen,
clout.
I'm just gonna like tag Spotify podcasts in my bio and be like, go here. You can see a picture of my face. I'm like a real podcaster now, so
Yeah.
I should be taken seriously.
We like could quit our jobs.
We
No,
could quit our jobs. We would survive literally a day.
we would survive. Not even. We would like
We could
not
go to the
survive.
store and buy a 6 pack of ramen, and then we would probably need to get employed again.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
The
I
gas,
mean, maybe one
no,
day.
the gas to get to the store, it wouldn't.
Oh
We wouldn't
yeah,
even last a
we'd have
minute
to
in the
walk home.
car. Right. Oh my god. But yeah, so that's awesome, and that we're really fortunate. We're really lucky. And to all the new viewers, if you are coming from this, like, hello, and no, we love you, we welcome you, and we're excited to have this growth in our podcast and seeing what this turns out to be within the next year. Even the next few months, we're excited for all these fun things coming up.
Definitely. And it's kind of weird timing because our last episode was so depressing. So
Yeah.
depressing. And I feel like people are going to be like, damn, this bitch just tackled some tough shit. But I promise we are not always like that. And I feel like this episode it's not really that serious at all. It's
We have
actually
some
I feel
fun
like it's going to
things.
be fun. So yeah, we're not always talking about very depressing topics. So I don't want anyone to think that.
Yeah, so I do want to talk about some recent stuff that we've been up to because we haven't been able to really do that. Talk about stuff that we like just have been doing in our regular day life, just because there's been so much bad news and it's such a weight. And I feel bad because like a lot of people's first impression of us was gonna be like me just like angry, like super angry, and like I don't want people to think that I'm an angry person. But the state of the world. And so I think I
It
have
does
a
it to
pass.
you. It
Yeah,
does it to
it
you.
does it. But I think there's some fun stuff that we've been doing, just like aside from the podcast, aside from America. But yeah, is there anything like you've been up to this past week that has been
Um,
interesting?
yeah, I've actually had a very eventful weekend. I've gone out literally every single day
Oh my
of the
god.
weekend. And so thinking back, when we had planned all of these activities, I never considered the fact that we were planning on going out 3 nights in a row at the beginning of the month when rent and all of your other bills are due. And I just came to a point, I was like, after I pay for
Yikes.
rent, I'm really not going to have that much money. Yet, for some reason, I decided to go out 3 days in a row, which is a little bit weird. But I'm here. I survived. I still have money in my bank account. So go me. But basically, on Friday, we went to emo night in LA,
Oh,
which,
I love emo
if you
night.
don't know, it's like an event that gets thrown, and they just basically play a bunch of like throwback early 2000s and 90s like punk alternative music. And I never really had like an emo phase growing up, but I did listen to some songs, so I was like, oh, that it's gonna be fun because like usually I just like go to the club and like we see like a DJ or we listen to hip hop or EDM or something. So it was fun to like go and have a different change of pace and be with a different crowd. And it was so much fun and so psychotic and crazy. I was like sometimes a little bit concerned for my life, but everyone was so like nice, even though they were going hard and like it looked like they were about to kill each other. Everybody was like really respectful. So that was nice. It was just
Was there
like,
moshing?
yeah, girl, there was a lot of moshing. And I was like, so I was at the front, like almost at the very front of the stage.
Oh
And the
wow.
entire rest of the stage was just a mosh pit. And like people were flying around and like Russell was in it and like our friends that went. It was like 3 guys and then there were 2 of us girls. And we didn't get in, but all the guys like just left and went in there and like disappeared for like 10 minutes and then would come back drenched in sweat, like covered in like dirt. And I was like, are you okay? Like, did you just go to war? Like, what's happening?
That's really funny. Yeah, that's I grew up like a little emo. I'll put some pictures here. I did have my emo phase. I might still be in it. I'm not sure. But I have been to a few of my shows where there has been like some light moshing. But it's always fun. Everyone gets really hot. Um all
Oh
these
my
warm
god. I
bodies and
was
so you're
sweating
just
so much.
drenched. Yeah. What venue was it at?
It was at the Avalon. It's like a nightclub in LA.
And when was the start time? Because I'm really interested in like
I
going.
think
Was
the doors opened at 8, but
okay.
we didn't get there until like 10. And they went until like 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
That's when
no.
we
So
left.
I follow them because like the owner is like a YouTuber and his wife is also a YouTuber. So I follow them and they started like they had a show in New York City and they started at 12 and didn't end up until 4 a.m. Like that's how like late it went to. And so I'm like I really want to go. There's one coming in Seattle in like a few I think like literally this weekend. So I'm interested. I might do it. We'll see.
You should
But
definitely go. It
I
was
I
so much
really
fun.
want to. I know like I feel like I wouldn't know a lot of these songs. Like I would know them, but I wouldn't know the words. But I bet as soon as it comes on, like I'll like know everything.
Yeah. I didn't I knew all of the songs, but I didn't know the lyrics. But let me tell you, when The Great Escape came on by Girls Like Boys, Boys Like Girls, it was over. I felt like I was actually part of the experience because I knew the words. And then after that I was like, "Oh, I don't know the song anymore." But
That
I'm
was
still going to dance to it.
that was the first song that really got me into like pop, like rock, pop punk. Because I
Yeah.
remember like really like my brother told he didn't want me to like the music he liked, so he was like, "This music, this is what you can listen to." So then that's what I started listening to, and then I got into like that's yeah, it's so stupid, but like I was little and like so that song means a lot to me. Um, but yeah, that's funny.
It was so good. Yeah, so I was in a club, like a traditionally it's a nightclub, so it looks like a nightclub, but they're playing rock music and also there's people walking around with like punk rock outfits and like there's a Santa Claus in the corner and they have like Santa decor, there's a bonfire with presents and a Christmas tree and I'm like I felt like I was in a different dimension for a second. Like everything just wasn't adding up. It didn't make any sense to me, but it was a fun vibe. I enjoyed it for sure.
I have to look up what the emo night looked like during that night because it sounds like a fun time. Oh
They
yeah.
posted something on their story, and I was in one of them because I was like close to the front and I saw my head.
Oh my god.
So I'm famous. Yeah,
Hold on. Right now I'm looking through their Instagram
I'm
and
an
seeing if
emo
I see you.
girl.
Bitch, I have to find you. You have to go. You have to show me.
I have to see if I'm in one of the pictures because I know when they
Yeah.
posted the story, I saw myself, but we'll see.
Okay, that's really funny. But
Yeah, but it was really fun. It was a different experience for me. And
yeah.
yeah, that was the first, that was on Friday.
Have you ever been to any like rock concerts? Like what's like
No,
you've
never.
never been to any?
No. Mm-mm.
You and your ass just watching DJs like the
I'm a
boom
dancing
boom.
girl. Yeah.
Yeah. Your beat boop
I
music.
was like, how do I dance to this?
That's really funny. But you did
Yeah,
end up going seeing a DJ this weekend too,
I
right?
did. I went on literally the next day. So Alice is here, which is my other best friend. And she was in an episode actually a really, really long time ago.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, she came to visit and we went out. So it was just the two of us. And before we went out, I had like this psychic energy telling me that tonight is going to be annoying. Like I men are going to piss me off tonight. And I was absolutely right. They were really trying us last night and I feel like when you go out just two girls, you should be very aware of your surroundings just like for safety. Like there's obviously a lot of weird guys around at the club like if they see two girls by themselves anything could happen. Like people can offer you drinks. And that's just like the type of person I am. I'm very observant and I'm always looking around me. Alice doesn't, she is in her own little world. She does not give one fuck about what anyone else is doing. So like there were multiple times where I could see like there were people staring at us and like guys like trying to like approach us and stuff, and like she had no clue what was going on. So like it was like I was trying to have fun, but at the same time I was trying to be like the mom and like keep them away from us and be safe so we didn't get kidnapped by the end of the night.
The way that you describe it and the way that I know it is, it's like truly like gnats, just like flinging gnats
Literally.
off. And like it's so annoying. And I hate like men ruin everything, like genuinely.
They do.
I mean, I specifically like if I go out, I try and find like my favorite thing to do when I lived in Gainesville was to go to the gay club, which was that was like the funnest because I knew that I can just like be in there, like have fun, dance with my girlfriend, and and like I would feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel like harassed. But like I've had people like come up to Emily, come up to me, and like say weird things. Like one person said that like Emily was like she was telling him she was gay, and he was like, "That's what I like to hear." And it's like that's
Oh my god.
being like a man is. It's just harassing people.
Yeah. Well, Alice is single, so like I kind of just let her do her own thing after a
Right,
while.
right, right.
But like there was this, so she was with dancing with some guy and he had a friend. And earlier in the night he was like, I just want to let you know that you're so pretty, and if you ever want a shoulder ride, let me know. And I was like, okay, well, I don't. So I'm not going to let you know.
A
So I just like
shoulder
ignored
ride.
him. Yeah. Like that's kind of like what they do. Like DJ shows, like the
I bet
girls go on the
five
guy's
six.
shoulders and the girls are like, first of all, I was taller than him too. So like, I don't know if he could have put me on his shoulders. Um, yeah. So I was like, no. And then like a couple, maybe like an hour later, he's like touching me. He's like, so do you want to like dance with me? And I was like, no, I don't want to dance with you. And he got so offended. He was like, why? Like he was literally sad. And I pulled out my phone and I went like this. If you could see, it's literally a picture of me and my boyfriend. I literally put it in his face. And his response was, so?
Oh my
That's what his
god.
response. He was like, we're just dancing. And I was like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not dancing with you.
How
I'm so sorry.
slimy. Ew.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just like, it's gross. It's fun to like go out with like your girlfriends and just dance and have fun. But you have to, it's annoying that you have to deal with that shit. So it's
Right.
like, it's nice to have like guys with you, even if you're not dating them, just like, it's a way for them to think, oh, like maybe they're dating, so I'm not going to go up to her. But like when you're by yourself, they think it's free game.
It's crazy. There's um what was I gonna say? The I just find it just like so disturbing that like people they feel comfortable enough to just be able to come up to you and you say no and like they just can't take it. Oh, and but like honestly, like the last comment that we got like last week we were talking about it. Just welcome to womanhood. That's what it is being a woman.
Oh yeah, I
So
forgot.
welcome to
I just have to
womanhood.
get used to it,
You
right?
just have to get used to it. Like, sorry, that's what being a woman is. You signed up for it.
I mean, I get it. Like it's fine. Like if you obviously you're having fun, you might want to like flirt with somebody, that's fine.
Yeah,
But like if I say no, then leave me alone. If I'm not interested in you and I don't show any interest whatsoever, why are you being persistent? Just go. There's literally hundreds of other people here that you could talk to. And even like on Friday, Russell went to the bathroom. I kissed him before he went to the bathroom. The second he leaves, this guy who just saw me kiss him comes up to me and is like trying to flirt with me. And I was like, do you think I'm in an open relationship? Do I give
right.
polyamorous vibes? Like, I'm pretty sure you just saw me kiss him. Like, why are you talking to me? It's
That's
like things like that that piss me off. It's like, take a hint.
and I've said this to you before. It's like I admire like whenever we hung out, whenever we went to LA, and like just guys just come up, like weirdos would just come and say stuff. And like we were in like a I think like a Walgreens or something, and someone came up to you, and like you literally just just like completely just like looked past him and ignored him, like didn't say anything. And I'm like literally though, like
That's literally me. Like, I don't care. If you ask me like politely, I'll decline politely. But
yeah,
like if you come up to me with all of this like annoying energy, I'm just gonna pretend like you don't
like
exist.
a gnat that you just
Yeah.
swipe
I'm
push
just gonna
like
go, nope.
Bye.
Go
That's
away.
really funny.
That's
But
how I
that's
exercise my feminist rights in this country.
we stand. Slay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
my feet are in shambles. They
Yeah, you
hurt.
said you were dancing for like 4 hours or something.
Yeah, on Saturday I thought so we got there at 9 because the doors opened at 8 and I was like, "Oh, the main act will go on at maybe like 10." His ass didn't show up until like 1 a.m.
Oh
So I was
my
like,
god.
"Okay." And then it was so fucking hot in there and yeah, it was fun, but besides all the annoying men, it was fun.
Yeah, what kind of shoes were you wearing?
I was just wearing sneakers.
Yeah. Okay, cuz I'm like
I
I
will
can
never wear
imagine.
heels to a club. Never.
Yeah, I don't
Never in my
yeah.
life.
It's like the lab rule, like the science lab rule, like no open toe shoes.
Yeah.
None of
If
it.
I did, my toes would have got amputated
Shrimp,
by like
right.
other people's feet. Yeah.
That's fun. But yeah, it sounded like a
Oh,
fun weekend.
it was fun.
Yeah, very
I am
eventful.
just very tired.
Bitch, I like all I did this weekend was I just was like watching like Netflix. And I finished Stranger Things. Have you finished it?
So I'm on the very last episode now.
Oh my
I'm so
god.
scared. I'm terrified.
There's like the last 10 minutes of one of the episodes, something happens and it's just a scene and I want to show you so bad, but I mean it'll spoil something a little bit, so I can't show it to you because it's also like the last 10 minutes of the episode. But there's a song that plays during like this one scene, and like I shit you not, I made that exact same song like when I was in high school. Like it sounds just so similar. And it's just like a little
We need to
piano
call
track.
Netflix.
It's just like a little piano track, and I know they didn't obviously steal anything from me. They obviously didn't steal my work. Like that's dumb to assume. But like I heard it, and like I was sitting there with Emily, and I looked at her, and I was like, "That's my song." And she was like, "What?" And she was like, "Wait." And she was like, "That is your song." And then like pulled it up, and I found like the clip online, and I put them right after one another, and I'm like, they sound so similar. So whenever you like watch it, the finished episode, I like tweeted about it, and so I want you to like listen to them back and forth.
I
But yeah,
will.
it's just like this piano track that like I mean it's probably like something super easy. It's like just like a descending sort of scale, like on like a C chord. So it's like nothing like super like intricate, but it sounds so similar, and the pacing of everything is like identical to like mine. So I'm like, they stole it. I know they did. And so I need my coin, Netflix.
Maybe Spotify can link us up with them and be like, listen, you just stole a smaller creator's work and
Right.
we need to be compensated for that.
And
Wait,
some most like
I have a question about Stranger Things. I no spoilers.
no
I just want to
spoilers.
tell by your facial expression. Is is Max okay? Oh no. Why do you look like that? Okay. That's all I needed to know. Oh, now we're okay.
um
That's the most
Max
important
is
thing.
thriving.
Oh, I'm sure
She's
she's
doing her
thriving.
thing. She's amazing.
She's floating. Oh fuck. She's floating because she's so happy with life.
She is so happy with life that she's blinded.
Oh my god. I'm gonna start
She's
crying.
blinded with life. No, no,
Okay.
no, I didn't spoil anything. Well,
Now I have to watch it.
no, no, no. You'll see.
Because it's
It's
stressing me out. Like, I really like Max and I also like Eddie, but I know his ass is not gonna make it to the end of this episode because he's the newest one.
it's
So
crazy because it's like a movie. There's like a 2 hour episode.
yeah,
So
literally.
you're watching a full on movie. So this was a good season, I will say. I really liked it. I
Yeah,
so I
it's
really
emotionally
liked.
damaging.
So Steve obviously is like, you know, Nancy and Steve are like hitting it off, but I really
Yeah.
did like the dynamic she had with I forget his name.
He was
the
so irrelevant this season.
Yeah, and it makes me kind of sad because like I was really rooting for them like the last like those previous two. I mean the whole show, like you were really rooting for them. So it just kind of seems weird that this season they just kind of were like, actually he's kind of fucking sucks, and then so they made you like really like not like him.
I love Steve.
But Steve is great. Yeah,
Sorry.
he's had such an arc, and his gay
Yeah.
best friend.
Oh my god, I love her too. We love Ms. Robin.
We love all the gays. We love Will.
Yeah.
The way they handled this season, like making like Will gay and stuff like that, is interesting. Because I'm like, just say it.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, just come out, babe. Come
Right,
on.
just
It's
say it.
okay. Your friend is literally a psychic. Like, they're not going to judge you because she literally is
Yeah, she's literally like an
like,
alien.
yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to bring up Stranger Things because yeah, that was what I watched this weekend. I was so excited. On Friday, I like had a night. We ended up going out with some friends. And I was like really sad because I'm like, I don't want to go out with friends. I want to watch Stranger Things. Like I really want to. So we stayed up till like 2 a.m. finishing like the first half of the first episode or the second episode that came out. So we only had half the episode that next morning, so we finished it off. But they stole my song, and Netflix will be hearing from my lawyers. I'm coming after you, the Duffer Brothers.
You should come
Um,
after them. They have enough money.
right, exactly. But that's kind of like what I did this weekend. It was just like hanging out. I watched like a gay movie yesterday called The Handmaiden. It was really good. It's like a Korean movie. I think it's like it has Korean and Japanese in it, but that was really good. It's very gay. I think, but like, there's one point where they like scissor in the movie, and
They
it's like, oh
do.
my god! I was like, it's like fully a porno, and I'm like, this is a man made this. Like, you can clearly tell, like, a man made this.
He was like, what do lesbians do? They scissor. Okay,
They
let's
they
do
scissor,
that.
like it wasn't enough, right? They couldn't like they had like, oh my god, it dragged out so much. Where like there was one point where like she had her finger in her mouth, and I swear to God, it was like for like 5 minutes, and like it was like really just like the tension was like weird, and it like lingered, and I'm like, yeah, a man made this movie for sure.
Yeah.
It was
You
good
can
though.
tell. Oh, that's good. You
Yeah,
said it was in like it's an international movie?
yeah. It's I
That's
think
even more interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a Korean movie. I mean, so it's about this like woman and like this man. They go into this like this rich woman. It's like she's a young girl, and so her family dies, so she has an inheritance. So this other man and woman who are from Korea, they're like poor. They like go into like so it's kind of like Parasite. They like go and they want to scam her from her inheritance. Her inheritance, so like they want to like the man wants to marry her and then put her in like the nut house. So like in a psych ward and then take all of her money. So they're trying to do like this long con, but then it becomes something else and there's like plot, like twists and stuff. And it's like a like truly like I think it's like a 2.5 hour movie. So
That
yeah.
sounds fun.
Right, yeah. So
I
other than
love
that,
just like watching movies and Netflix and stuff. It's also a
yeah.
vibe.
A very chill weekend.
Yeah.
But I did end up going to buy. I went Goodwill hunting, to find some phones for us because when we go to the lake, we want to have a little photo shoot for Girlish.
Yeah, we're going to see each other next week. Next
Yes.
Friday. I'm flying to
Hmm.
Seattle and then we're going to go to the river and have the best time
The
ever.
river. Shut up. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's going
But
to be so much fun. I'm excited.
we are, yeah, we're gonna go to the lake and not the river.
I'm going
I
to make
keep
sure
making that
Olivia
mistake.
doesn't drown.
I can't swim. I bought
We need
I
some
I bought a
floaties.
tube and I bought like
Oh,
like another floating thing. So just in case I don't drown, but
I
I
hope
don't know how
not.
to swim and it's kind of a problem, but it's fine. I'll survive.
We'll teach you.
Yeah.
I don't think a
Okay.
lake is actually like the best place to teach someone how to swim, but you
It'll be
know,
fine.
okay. There's a lot of people there that can save you.
I'm excited to see what it looks like because all the pictures look really pretty. And you said
It's
you've been
so
there
pretty.
before. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
excited. So that'll be fun. And we want to do a little photo shoot because we don't have any pictures together. And so I think it'd be
literally.
cute to have like some photos together just for us and also for Girlish, obviously. And
Yeah.
I was looking around like Goodwill, Habitat for Humanity. I went to this place called Fun Junk near me where they just sell like really antique junk stuff, like really like old matchbooks, like things like that. And I found this like old phone, but they wanted like $25 for it. And it wasn't even like, it was like really small and it wasn't like that cute. So I ended up finding some, like ones that are really cheap on Amazon that are like not like the rotary phone, but they're like the wall phone that kind of look like that. And I bought spray paint, so I'm gonna spray paint like one pink, one purple,
Yeah. Oh my
and it'll be
God.
cute. So we can
That would
like
be so cute.
have a little picture with it. But yeah, so that was my eventful weekend. Not at the club, at the Goodwill, but
That sounds more like what I typically do. This is like very out of character for me.
did you do
Like
your
last time,
what'd you
what were you
say?
saying?
I said, did you do your Saturday Target shopping?
Oh my god, no, I didn't.
Oh,
I
damn.
didn't actually go because I was like, oh, I can't afford my Saturday Target because I
Damn.
need. So okay, I we almost died of dehydration. So it was like, okay, we need to go get water. I asked for two waters at the bar. How much was two fucking cups of water? What do
They
you think?
charge you for cups of water?
They charge you for water. Like I almost died, and you're telling me I have to pay for water?
Like, I'm assuming like $2 for water. How much is the water? A cup of
My
water
total was $16
for
for two
cups of
cups of water.
water? They charge
They
you
were kind of big.
$8 for a
They were
cup of
probably
water?
like this big.
Yeah,
So
but
it was like kind of a
still.
lot. But I was like, should I just go to the sink and drink out of it? Like, what are you doing?
I've never been to a place where they charge, other than like Warp Tour, I've never been to a place where they charge you for water.
Charging for
That's,
water should be a crime because
yeah.
people will pass out. Like,
Especially
there,
after
do you
like
know how many
the
blacked out
Travis
people are in
Scott,
here?
yeah.
Like, hello? So yeah,
And wow, that's
that was a
crazy.
crime.
Like they don't let you bring your own like drinks into the that place,
No.
but then you also have to buy. Like that's crazy, and it gets super hot. Like I've been in places where I've been in really small venues, like not even like 200 seat like people, and just everyone smushed in together. Like that heat is like it's like you can't exist in it without like having some sort of cold beverage to cool you down. That's crazy. $16 for water.
Yeah,
I can't imagine your total after the end of everything, the drinks, and then
I'm not looking.
she. No one needs to know.
My card didn't get declined, so
That's all that
obviously it
matters.
went through, and I don't care what happened after that.
Speaking of cards getting declined, Emily and I just got our own. We finally got our credit card together, which I think is
Oh,
fun. We got a
that's
travel
cute.
credit card.
Oh,
So we're gonna get our
period.
passports on it. We're gonna put every like travel expense because we have it's an Alaskan airline travel card, and because we want to go back and visit family, and airlines are getting really expensive. So we're like, well, let's get an airline specific credit card where we can get mileage on it. And Alaskan goes back home like directly to Fort Myers. So we ended up getting one, and I'm like, okay, this is great. It's going to pay for our passport and everything because we want to get a passport to possibly go to Cabo. We really want to go to Mexico. I also found out recently that my dad was born in Mexico, but I didn't know that because of that, I qualify for I can be a dual citizen. So I just need his birth
Oh,
certificate
wow.
and like we just need to go to a consulate. So I can literally fly to Atlanta, meet him there, go to the Mexico consulate, and like I just apply for it and I'll be a dual citizen.
That's so cool.
So I'm like, what the fuck? And like I called him and he was like, you can't do that. And I was like, why? And then he like mentioned how his daughters had it. And then I was like, well, if they have it, why can't I get it? Like I'm
What the
confused.
hell?
So like it was like really weird. But I'm like, we're gonna do it. You're gonna meet me. So I told all my other siblings, and then so I was like, we should all just like make a trip to Atlanta, and like have him just like go and like do the application for us or with us because we need his like ID, his American ID, and like his Mexico ID and his Mexico like birth certificate. And so and that's it. And like I'll just be a dual citizen like that.
That's so cool.
I might be wrong and people might be like, bitch, like that's not how it works. But like it looked
It
like it's
sounds like a little
a little
easy.
too easy. I mean,
Yeah.
online it was like it's $100 for the application that you just need to bring that and that's it. And I'm like, okay, hola.
No, Ola. You're so international.
Bitch, I went to like a food truck yesterday, Mexican food truck, and like he could barely speak English, and I was like, "Tienes horchata?"
See?
Like, like I truly like I like spoke Spanish with him, and I was so proud of myself. I was like, "Wow, I
Oh
did
my
that."
god.
Like I really did that. Like I'm okay. I'm not like fluent in Spanish, but like I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like I understand it. When he was talking to me, I can understand like Mexican Spanish, the dialects, and but it's funny because like I'm so like nervous because my I feel like my Spanish is so bad, but it was like it was fine, and like he I think he appreciated it. It was easier for him, so that was fun. But yeah, so that was my weekend. Fun.
That's so cool. Oh my god, you're so international.
I'm so
You're a jet
ethnic.
setter, just flying from country to
I call it, my
country.
mom's Mexican, but she's like Texas Mexican, so her family's been here forever. And so I'm like, wow, I can't believe you had to be the one born in the United States. And she
Yeah.
prides herself. She's like, I'm white. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, whatever.
I'm like, I have something to tell you, sweetheart.
I'm sorry, but like I think everything about you makes the differ. Meanwhile, she's pronouncing chair like share. Share.
Stop.
She can't say world. I'm like, okay,
Oh
miss,
my
I'm Caucasian.
god. That's so funny.
But yeah. But I guess with that being said, we've been talking a little bit. We can jump to our topics of the day that I think are really fun. They're going to be really fun to talk about. We wanted to talk about them last week, but we didn't get the chance to because of everything going on. But yeah, let's go to the pop culture section.
Yeah. And so we've talked about Elon Musk before. He said some things about the trans community. And I just think it's so funny that he has a trans kid. So it's like, I just want to know what it's like. First of all, having Elon Musk as a dad is probably fucking weird because I don't
Right.
know. He just seems like such a strange person. But on top of that, given the statements that he's made regarding trans people and what he thinks about gender expression, gender identity, whatever, like, how do you have him as a father? And I guess we kind of know, considering that his kid is like literally wants nothing to do with him. Like,
Yeah.
literally. Like, imagine having your dad be the richest person on the planet and you want nothing to do with him. What does
Yeah,
that say?
it's crazy. So Elon Musk's daughter came. I mean, so people found a court document from LA, and it was a petition of name change, and it's Elon Musk's daughter petitioned to change her name, and her gender marker. So yeah, so it was really interesting because it came out. I'm not to toot my own horn, but like I was very early to seeing this. I saw this when like no one else had posted about it. It was just some random like Twitter account posted about it. It had like 100 likes. So I'm not to brag, but I was like the first person to like hear about it. But
You heard it
no.
here first, everyone.
So like I know we're like 3 weeks too late to talk about this, but like I heard it a while
You just
ago.
have to make it known that you were one of the first to hear it.
Exactly. So anyone else who thinks they heard it first, no. But so on the petition of name change, she said that the reason for the name change was gender identity and the fact that I no longer live or wish to be related to my biological father in any way, shape, or form. So he heard her.
Damn.
He did a number.
She said not even live or be related to.
Related
He said,
to.
"You're not even my dad anymore."
That's
That's
crazy.
fucked.
But so yeah, she ended up changing her name. And it kind of I feel like to a lot of people it made a lot of sense because we have been seeing that like a lot like an influx of him tweeting about trans people and like tweeting weird things about trans people. Cis men love to tweet about like trans surgeries. Elon Musk tweeted June 11th. He said, "We are simultaneously being told that gender differences do not exist and that genders are so profoundly different that irreversible surgery is the only option. Perhaps someone wiser than me can explain this dichotomy." But he's been like saying things like this, insinuating that like he's like a Republican now, or he's flat out said he's a Republican, and like saying things about trans people. In the past, he's tweeted about pronouns and stuff, and it's starting to kind of make sense seeing like, oh, okay, like your child is trans and your child is probably being hurt by these things that you're saying. And so obviously who wants anything to do with someone that doesn't believe or accept them? So it was interesting to see like obviously he says all this shit. He made like fun of Pride Month and stuff like that. And now that like his daughter came out as trans, so that's interesting.
Maybe he'll have a full circle moment. Like, he'll learn and then they'll be friends again and he will become the biggest ally. Oh my god, imagine if he was like just such a big ally to the trans community and just like gave us all $1 million to get all the gender affirming surgeries that we needed.
I would love that. Could
I
you
think
imagine?
that's his way. That's what he needs to do in order to repay us because I know he can afford it. So
He could.
hand out
Girlish.
the cash.
I mean, I mean, I lost a ton of money on, or I didn't lose a ton of money, but like, um, no, I don't want to say this because I feel like I sound like stupid. But so like he promoted the shit out of Dogecoin when it came out, like, or when it was like a thing like a year ago. And I know he's being like, I think there's like court cases against him now because of it. But like I had Dogecoin, I bought like $5 worth, and it went up to like $200 or something like that because there was like, I don't believe in cryptocurrency and I wouldn't buy it today, but it was like a few years ago. And I don't know, but I think that's funny. But yeah, so if he can do that, if he can scam some cryptocurrency, he can definitely give us some money, put it in our pockets, I
Yeah.
think. But
And it's what he needs to do.
I've seen Love Victor. I've seen Love Simon. I know that parents come around always. They will
That's
always
so
support their
true.
loved one. They might not at first, but they always will.
Always. And remember, when you transition, so does your family. And it might take them a while, but at the end of the day, they still might come around.
See, what's happening is he's mourning the death of his son, but before he
Yeah,
has to embrace the life of his daughter.
exactly. You're not losing a child, you're gaining one. Or as we said a couple weeks ago, would you rather have a dead son or a happy daughter? I think all of the transphobic parents that are listening to this, which is probably not a lot, you should take that into mind.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. But it's also comes like there's a lot of jokes to be had with this because Elon Musk has become some sort of like, I mean, I don't know, his reputation keeps getting like dug deep, like deeper and deeper, and like people are hating him more and more now, and a lot of stuff is coming to light. Like he's done a lot of bad things, but I think it's funny because there's a lot of jokes coming out about it that like his ex-wife, I mean, I don't know if they're married, I don't know if they're still married, but Grimes, a lot, like they're not together anymore, and now she's with Chelsea Manning, a trans woman. So it's funny because it's like, wow, like your wife's with a trans woman and your child's a trans woman. So interesting how you have a lot of things to say about trans people, a lot of things to say about trans surgeries, gender affirming surgeries, which hint hint we'll get to. But I don't know, I find
Yeah,
it fascinating that a lot of cis men have a lot to say about transitions and like people wanting to like affirm their gender when they themselves partake in affirmation. So
literally. I
yeah,
think that's actually the perfect transition. I have we talked about Jordan Peterson? I don't think so.
I don't
Or
think
maybe like
so.
briefly,
Maybe
but this week, so I don't know, like the I don't know what's in the air, but they are just giving us so
content.
much to talk about. And I'm so happy. So if you aren't aware, Jordan Peterson, he's off Twitter right now because in essence, he is refusing to refer Elliot Page by their legal name and is insisting on dead naming them because I don't know, he was saying like, well, all those movies came out when they were going by Ellen Page, so that's what I'm going to call them. And he's not on Twitter right now because he what suspended or banned for
Yeah,
it.
he's suspended.
And he made a 15-minute video, like 60-minute style with 7 different camera angles, just basically talking about how he just will not honor the fact that Elliot is now called Elliot, and he will not honor that because of all of these interesting and strange reasons that make it make sense in his head. And I wish we could watch, we were talking about this before, like we wish we could like do a live reaction to that video, but it's like I said 15 minutes long and it's a lot to go through.
Yeah.
So I guess we could just bring out the prime bits and pieces to discuss.
We have to do a dramatic reading of that tweet. It's short, but like we have
Yeah.
to. And like I want you to do the honors because I think it's so
Okay.
funny. But it'll be interesting to talk about.
Dramatic readings with Girlish.
I have to get my
All right. I
dramatic
need
read.
to I
This
need
one's
to
very short,
yes.
but it'll be very effective. So I think this tweet has been like removed or it's no longer on Twitter, so we had to do some research to find it. But he says, remember when pride was a sin? And Ellen Page had her breasts removed by a criminal physician. Literally mutilation. She was attacked by an evil physician that removed her breasts, in his words. Also, he's literally not using the right pronouns, which is kind of fucked up, which is not like unexpected for him. But yeah, I guess he's just mad that there's a character switch in the Umbrella Academy due to Elliot's transition. And I don't know, I think it's just too much effort to call somebody Elliot instead of Ellen. There's too
It's
many more syllables. It's too much longer. It's just a lot of work.
I don't know why he's really hung up on the name part of it too, like calling Elliot by his dead name, and like he's really caught up on it. But like he legally changed his name, like that's his legal name. And I heard someone give the argument like if you're referring to someone who got married like a week ago and now they're using like their husband's last name, you would refer to them by their new legal name because that's their legal name. So the fact that like he's so gung ho about like misgendering him or misnaming him is like really fucked up. But obviously, like this is Jordan Peterson. Like he's super anti-trans. He's like this like he's not a political commentator more as he is like a this for like this I think he was a professor, like a psychology professor at some Canadian like school. I think it might have been Toronto college, and yeah, and so he's been out. His fame came from putting trans people down. That's how his name kind of became a thing. It became like an incel talking point. Everyone like loved Jordan Peterson. He had like this big moment where like his lectures went viral, and all he does is talk, and all he says is nothing. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but every time I hear someone talk and they ramble and they keep going on, I just stop listening because I'm like, all these words you're saying don't mean anything. And he's notorious for saying a bunch of things that don't mean anything other than he's transphobic. So he tried making like this 15-minute video, like trying to like debunk his tweet or like going through his tweet and assuming why he was suspended off Twitter. Like, and he's like overcomplicating it so much. Like he's like,
He
well,
is.
if he went by she whenever he and the name and like just like going through backflips to try and like figure out why his tweet was justified. It's like you're just being transphobic. You were banned because you're being transphobic. Sorry, like that's it.
Yeah, and they do try and make it seem more complicated than actually is because it gives them a reason to actually not want to abide by that. Because like you said, he was like, well, if she, if they, if it, if he, if that, and like it's really not that hard. Like you're just doing that because it's not very hard to change a few letters around and actually call somebody by their legal name. Like, do you want to break the law? Do you want to just make fun of them for no reason? And the tweet that I sent you was so funny to me because someone was like, we literally call The Rock by The Rock. Like, that's his name. We don't call him Dwayne. We honor the fact that he wants to be called The Rock. Like, you can't switch a pronoun.
Right. You
And I
can't
didn't.
call someone like their legal name, like Elliot. Like it's crazy that like that's such a common thing with like and you see it happen all the time. And yeah, I'm happy we're finally talking about Jordan Peterson. He sounds like Kermit the Frog. He's so goofy, but I think it's really funny because you have to laugh at these people. But what I think is funnier is the fact that he's talking about gender affirming surgery being done by a what did he say about the doctor? A something doctor, a
A
criminal
criminal physician?
physician just had her breast removed by a criminal physician. And I wanted to talk about this, and we both did for a really long time. The same goes with Elon Musk. Both Elon Musk and Jordan Peterson have both had gender affirming surgeries.
Yeah, they have. They fixed their receding hairlines, which is a gender affirming surgery, right? Like you are seeing male pattern baldness and you are insecure about it. So you have decided to fill in your hairline with a procedure. You have altered your appearance. It's not natural for your hairline to look normal. It's supposed to be back in the middle of your forehead, but you
Biologically, you
decided to
shouldn't have
change it.
hair.
Yeah, biologically, you should be bald by now. Like, the universe is telling you that you were supposed to be balding and you disrupted that. So, what's the
Are
difference?
you
What's
a
the
real
difference
man if
from
you're not allowing nature to make you a man by balding you?
I think it actually makes you more feminine because you're
I think
showing
so
that
too.
you're afraid of embracing the true nature of being a man, which is being bald, and
Right.
trying to fight it. Maybe they're actually trans.
Like, or I also see men, it's always the hairline. They're so insecure about it. It's
They
always the
hate the
hairline. Like
hairline.
they'll start taking like testosterone blockers to avoid losing their hairline. They're literally taking the same medication trans men are taking to stop their hairlines from like receding even more. So like men
They'll wear a toupee
right.
willingly.
Like, I'm sorry, you're wearing a wig? Are you sure you're not trans?
Are you a drag queen?
But actually, oh my god. But we're seeing this, so it's so common. It's like you are doing these things because you want to be affirmed in your gender identity. You want to feel like yourself. You're doing this because you were an adult consulting or consenting to a surgery that is going to alter your appearance. The same goes for Elliot Page, who wanted to get his breast removed. The same goes for any trans person that wants to do any medical procedure. The same that goes for any cis woman that wants to get um, a, a boob job or whatever surgeries they please. The same goes for men who want to get a hairline transplant. Like, people get these surgeries because they want to feel affirmed in who they are. And the fact that like you're trying to like make this like a trans thing when it's like, no, like people just have been getting plastic surgery for forever.
Yeah, and I will say, I did get FFS and I did get a slight hair transplant. So they essentially got the same procedure that a trans woman got. So
Is he a trans
I
man?
don't know. I think we might be getting a coming out video over the next few months because usually the people that fight it the hardest are the biggest at heart. So we'll
Not
see.
not Kermit the Frog putting on Miss Piggy's clothes.
How iconic would it be if the richest person in the like world was trans? You know how
I
great that would be?
honestly, that would be iconic. And I think
You couldn't tell me shit. You can't tell me that I
all
can't make
right.
it because look.
Right. The American dream lives on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's important to talk about like plastic surgery and gender affirming surgery and knowing that they both exist on the same wavelength. Like people who are getting like a breast augmentation because they want to have like enlarged breasts. It's like a lot of times it's to embrace their femininity, embrace their womanhood. People who get hairline surgery are insecure about their hairline receding and they want to feel more attractive, more appealing to themselves and to other people, right? And it's a form of gender expression. It's how you want to express yourself to the world. And I don't know. I think it's important to like not look at something a trans person gets and a cis person gets and seeing them as completely different things because they're both the same side of the same coin. Do I think there's like a mental health factor for trans people that there isn't quite for cis people? Of course. I think, surgeries can save trans people's lives. Like, I genuinely believe that. And I do believe insurance should cover a bunch of these trans procedures. But do I think that they're that different from a cis person getting them and a trans person? Like, are they that different in terms of like what they are meant to do? What they're meant to do is make you feel affirmed in your personhood. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
You can't really call it mutilation and when you're referring to surgeries for a trans person and then in the same breath like acknowledge that cis people also get those same surgeries and it's like completely normal and fine
Did a crooked
because it's a thing.
physician fix your hairline? And
I
was
think
that
so.
physician the same physician he had?
Yeah. So my physician is actually crazy. Like they peeled my forehead down and shaved it. So like I feel like they mutilated me a little bit more.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I don't
But
know. It's just funny because they talk about this and then turn around and do the exact same thing And everybody wants to be affirmed in what they look like and get the things that they want so that they feel comfortable about themselves. But for some reason, trans people aren't allowed to do that. And it's seen as like we're mutilating our bodies. Like, just
Yeah.
say that you don't want to admit that you're attracted to people and move on.
Exactly. Or
It's that
like
hard.
men taking steroids too, stuff like that to make them like have more testosterone, to make them be stronger. Like these things that are so normalized that people do. It's like made to be something so othered when trans people decide to do it. And it all comes down to obviously transphobia, and it just makes me so mad because these people, they get upset when Twitter bans you for being transphobic, and they're saying like it's freedom of speech, like this is America, and it's like, well, it's a private company and they can do whatever they want to do. They can, if you disobey terms of service, they can ban you for not following their terms of service because they're a company. But also, if you believe this land is so free, why don't you leave us the fuck alone?
Literally.
Like if you're all about individual rights, then how come you make it so difficult for trans people to exist? Why are they trying to like truly ban our existence? And like that's what's happening. We're seeing that, and it makes me it infuriates me.
They're always like, if you don't like this country, then why don't you leave? Okay, well, if you don't like what people are doing, like if you don't like trans people getting surgeries in this country, why don't you leave?
Exactly.
Because we can do whatever the fuck we want, just like you can. So I don't understand. It's like a double standard here. Like, they are able to have freedom of speech. They can say whatever they want. They can do whatever they want with their own bodies, but we should not be able to, for whatever reason.
And that is on white power.
White
Jane,
supremacy.
white supremacy. We love it.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th, right. We're filming this on 4th of July, so I'll be editing it. So it'll be coming out today. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I think that's kind of like where we can wrap it because um yeah, it's just is interesting that happens so often, and we wanted to call it out because you'll see a lot of people talk shit about trans people, but obviously they go through their own insecurities that they want adjusted. And I really wish we could have watched that video that Jordan Peterson made, because there are a lot of times where I'm like catching him in things where I'm like, I want to just like counter argue, but it's like it infuriates me. But I do hope that one day we can have like a little studio space where we can set up our recording and we can like be able to live react to like certain clips and things that happen. But I wouldn't lie, I the fact that I am scared of what the future of this country is doing, and I'm worried about a lot of things. But so on this 4th of July, I want to say that I'm scared, but it's fine. We're pushing through, and yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely scary. I feel like I haven't really celebrated the 4th of July for the last couple of years just because I don't know. I don't really feel like I am wanted even in this country. So it's like kind of hard to have a sense of patriotism. But
Hmm.
we are moving on and we are trying to keep it together and just stay strong as a community. So, yeah, I would say even if you don't celebrate the 4th of July, just like go eat a hot dog or something or watch some pretty fireworks, do something fun or like go to the beach. I don't know. You don't
Right.
have to. I guess like I'll just have a nice day, not necessarily in honor of our country, but I'm just going to have a nice day in general and be happy I'm not working.
You live closer to like a city. You're like more. There's a lot of people where you are. Do you hear a lot of fireworks go
Yeah,
off?
they
Yeah.
started on like Friday.
Yeah. Same. Are you a
So,
fan of it? Do your animals like it?
no.
Yeah.
They don't. Not at all.
We had to close the window last night. It smelled like smoke in the entire apartment. And like it gets hot if you close the window. Like the breeze is what kind of cools the apartment down. So it sucked. So I woke up like sweating because I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's fun. But yeah, 4th of July, I don't, yeah, it's something that celebrate if you want. Um, I don't really feel the need to celebrate anything that makes me sad.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, the biggest takeaways and what we want you to know is that if you are looking to get a surgeon, make sure they don't have a criminal history and deform your body, because that's really important. We don't want that to happen to you.
Yeah,
So be careful
exactly.
out there.
Be careful.
It can be rough,
Shout out to Elon Musk's daughter. We love you. We stan.
honestly.
And shout out to
Shout out to Elliot Page.
Elliot Page.
Keep
I
slaying.
love this season. Actually, I didn't really like this season of Umbrella Academy. But anyways, at the end of the day, yeah, thanks for listening to this episode. I'm trying to think if there's thank you to Spotify for putting us on the radar. Like
Yes.
that's really cool. If you guys haven't checked it out, go to Spotify's like Spotify podcast Instagram. Go to Spotify News, I think, Instagram. You can see us on Twitter and stuff. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, Girlish Podcast. And yeah, we have a link tree to everything now. I made one and it's really cute. Have you seen it?
Mm.
Yeah, I really like it. So if you go on our Instagram, you can see our link tree. I think it's just linktree.com/girlishpod or something like that. So yeah, check it out. And yeah, we appreciate everything.
Yeah, go comment on all of the featured posts that we're in and say, this is the best podcast in the world.
Yeah,
And I
say
love them. They're
girlish,
the most iconic people ever.
slay. Say girlish
Just say
sent me
slay.
here to say slay. And then
Yeah,
add us.
I'll
Yeah.
literally scream if somebody says that.
Yeah. Say slay and then add us and then
Yeah.
and we'll know. We'll talk about you next
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for everyone watching and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.